Olesia, welcome to the Baby Mint Tiny Chair Talks. I'm so glad to have you here today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here, Fiona.
I've been thinking a lot about the first time when we met. We talked about everything from how we moved to the US, from totally different cultures, backgrounds, to how we are raising our kids here in the New York City. I feel like you have so much to offer, so I'm really excited for our community to hear it. So let's dive into it. For those who may not know you yet, Olesia, can you introduce a little bit about who you are, what you do, and what's life look like these days?
Thank you. I'm Olesia. I'm a model. I'm a wellness entrepreneur. I'm a coach. And most importantly, I'm a mom. My daughter is 6 years old. And it's been a beautiful journey of motherhood, balancing motherhood and work. And it's a really busy season for me and also very, very fulfilling season as well.
You are wearing so many hats right now, but I know you are also a wellness coach these days and really focusing on integrating wellness into your day-to-day routine. Can you share a little bit about how wellness actually look like, in your daily life? Because I can imagine with a young kid, with your career, with, everything going around, it could be messy sometimes.
Definitely. It's not perfect, and finding joy in little moments of connecting to myself and using those little rituals, whether it's a short walk or lemon water in the morning, they help me stay centered and grounded. And I would love to continue modeling that for my daughter as well, because I do think it's important modeling for our children.
I really like when you mentioned about those small moments, right? Because as parents and, a mom with a career, we are busy all the time. Sometimes we forget about ourselves. And these moments really is a time you can take care of yourself, right? As long as you build that muscle. Wellness doesn't have to be like such a huge, like a big thing. It's an everyday practice. So, tell me a little bit more about how you integrate wellness and self-care in your life with your daughter, because I know you guys really, are a household with that little habits practice embedded into day-to-day life.
Yeah, it's all about those little rituals and moments of connection and moments of self-care. We love cooking together. We bake sourdough together.
Awesome.
Yes, that's been a beautiful ritual that we share. And she's always been my little helper since she was really tiny. I think she really wanted to help since she was maybe 15 months.
It's really cute, right? At the beginning, it could be out of control sometimes, but that's how you get her into like a baking.
Absolutely. We used to try on those wooden toys, wooden vegetables that you need to cut with a kid, toy knife. And then she graduated
to like be a actual sous chef to help mom
exactly
with the actual work.
Another ritual that we've been implementing recently, and it's been so beautiful, we color together before bed. It actually happens while we're in bed, right before going to sleep. She brings markers. We have this wonderful coloring book that's called Unicorns and Rainbows. It's only based on unicorns and rainbows. And we color together and talk. And that's the moment of connection without pressure, where she shares things with me. And it's just really sweet. I find it very regulating for her nervous system as well. And then lights out and we go to bed.
That's awesome. Right now, I'm doing the reading all the books before bedtime with my son. He's really into that. Like, he point at the books he would like me to read that specific night, and sometimes it's 5 books in a row. But I enjoy it because it's part of the routine that he get into learning something, sharing a moment with you, and it's just so special. And I also know that you guys just took a fantastic trip in Maine recently. I saw you went on hiking, kayaking, and enjoying the forest magic. Can you share a little bit more about taking her into the nature, like outdoor activities?
Absolutely. Nature has been a big part of our lives as well. I find that especially, as a kid growing up in New York City, I need to be intentional finding that time and space for her to connect to nature. I grew up very differently, and I've always walked barefoot in nature, smelled the flowers, and I'm trying to implement that for her as well. So we went to Maine, beautiful nature. We got to do all those things that you mentioned. And also there was this beautiful garden. And for the duration of our trip, every single morning, first thing in the morning, we walked to this garden barefoot. And I showed her, this is raspberries, and we picked some raspberries and ate them. And there were blueberry bush and lots of flowers. We even found the little poppy seeds and, those little poppy
Right.
flowers. And it's so exciting for her. And I find it very healthy for children to connect with nature and enjoy that time, being a kid in nature.
Right. I feel like that's such a unique experience, as you've mentioned, for kids growing up in New York City, right, or in any of the city environment, to get that connection with the flowers, the trees, the fresh air, the water, river, animals. I just feel like that's special. So
Absolutely.
I love it. I also like your idea of taking those kind of like short trips, right, to somewhere not too far away, too overwhelmed, but can bring a special experience that they will remember.
Absolutely. And I find that for kids, for us, short trip is just a short trip, and for them it's the whole new world. They've never seen it, and it's exciting, it's big. And I think recognizing that really inspires me to even sometimes take a day trip, or we go to Brooklyn Botanic Garden. And for Yeva, it's really a big event.
I love that. It's such a refreshing perspective, and you really, think about the perspective from their shoes. So I love it. Sometimes I feel like maybe a little bit guilty not taking them to a lot of places, because I can't imagine taking a 6 to 10 hour flight or something. But you assured that since your daughter is slightly older than my son, they enjoy the experience no matter, and then the world is brand new to them, so there are so much for them to explore.
Exactly. And isn't it incredible to see the world through their eyes? Really noticing those little things.
Right.
That's what I've been enjoying a lot, and that's what Yeva has been teaching me a lot.
Perfect. I actually noticed you love exploring, something new, something exciting. You got into boxing a lot these days. Can you share a little bit about, how you get into that journey and how boxing has helped you regarding your own wellness?
Thank you. I love martial arts, and I find that they're very empowering, and it's a great way to practice discipline, coordination. I think boxing is a perfect workout that can help with building muscle. I'm over 30 and I'm thinking about, muscle loss after 30 and how important it is to do strength training. So it's a really good combo of strength and cardio and community. And that's been, very supportive, and I love the community part. That's what I'm focused in my wellness business as well, building that community, building that support system, and also showing it to Yeva, what community looks like. And if she's interested in boxing when she's older, I would be very happy. I do think it's good for kids to learn martial arts, especially for girls,
right,
to be strong. I was not taught to be physically strong. Even though, boys, they're taught to be strong. And girls, I find that there's no emphasis on being strong. There's emphasis on probably being kind and pretty. But I think being strong, it's important for everyone. And usually, strong body, strong mind.
I can't agree more, because I feel like you are such a model to her to show that strength and self-confidence. And I feel like modeling those strengths to her at an early age is really, really impactful. And I believe she will take that, kind of like traits, like grow up with her. So I think, the other question I always wanted to ask you, right? Because raising our kids is all about planting those seeds at an early stage. So since you've been in the wellness, self-care world for so long, how do you feel like you are going to integrate movement, self-care, these to her life as she grows?
That's such a great question. I think it's a lot about being connected to self. And what I've been teaching her is to listen to herself and is to listen to her own cues, to listen to her body, to listen to her mind, and really have that connection. So when her body needs to move, she moves. When she needs to rest, especially in New York and generally in our society, I do feel like not a lot of people make time, intentional time to rest. So when she needs to rest, she can rest. When her body is craving certain foods, she nourishes her body. It's not about perfection. It's about that self-connection and feeling, really listening to yourself, listening to your intuition. And I'm modeling it for her as well.
I like your point of wellness is not being perfection. It's about the presence and having those moments or trainings, right, for your journey. Because I think you brought up a really interesting point, right? Because those kids live in today's world, they are exposed to, all the topics, conversations around this world. Sometimes it can be difficult at their age. So can you share a little bit more about, if you guys have already had some conversations regarding kind of like, her being comfortable with her body, about like wellness, about taking care of herself mentally, physically. Is there any suggestions you have like regarding having these conversations more like age properly for them?
Definitely. We talk about it a lot, and I like to keep it very simple and positive. When we're eating foods, I can point out to certain colors or certain foods and say this, let's eat some carrots. It will make your eyes see better. Or, before we're getting ready for bed, we do stretching. And I say, let's stretch those beautiful, strong legs. Really focusing on nourishment, focusing on positive, confident image of self, I think is the key here. And explaining to her that, food is a gift that nourishes our organs, and movement is also a gift that also nourishes us in a lot of ways. And coming up with little rituals. Since she was very young, I took her to Mommy and Me yoga. And actually, a few days ago, I randomly was looking through the videos of her being 7 months old and just sitting and looking at me.
I have to see that video after this interview.
So sweet. Or me holding her and trying to work on my core. And anytime she sees me stretching, she joins in now. She's much heavier now. It's harder to stretch and do upward dog or downward dog with her on my back. But definitely,
I definitely can see that because you have such a strong body and you practice with her, regularly. That's so awesome that you have created that environment for her to take those actions, right? Because I feel like sometimes for those teaching, we talk to them a lot, but I feel like showing those examples, right, by watching and listening, they are actually getting the best ideas or kind of like habits to help them grow up. For Eli, I'm really surprised by he's only 2, but I feel like he absorbs a lot, like just by watching and listening to us. We have those some bags in our nursery. We try to sometimes organize things that we want to give it to other people or we want to pass along to other kids. Right, he wants to join, to do that with me. And when I say, well, give it to some other babies, his lights light up. So I feel like that's the little seeds we plant in the early life that can go with them when they grow up.
Absolutely, I love that so much. And from such an early age, they are truly like sponges. And it's definitely about showing and being mindful that everything they see, everything they hear, they absorb, and having that little tiny human looking up to you and recognizing that you're the biggest role model for them. It has been a very powerful recognition for me as a mother.
Right. I also like that you mentioned about the responsibility, right? We all want to raise good human, create the best for them. So it really lines up with my next question. What kind of world do you want Yeva to grow up in, and what you are doing today to help shape that future? It's a signature baby me and tiny chair talks question.
I love this question so much. I really hope she grows up with a world full of empathy and kindness and respect. I think having to model things for her and creating that little world of love, making sure she's always seen, she's always loved, she's always heard, modeling compassion for her, showing that she can do anything. She watches how I lit up when I work, and I think that's important. She also watches me how excited I am to play with her, and I think it's also incredibly valuable for her. And really helping her see the world as a bright, beautiful place, while showing her that confidence is important, that self-respect is important, setting boundaries are important.
Yeah. All those core values that I think it's not only for her own kind of like a well-being or growth to be a person that holds those values. I'm a true believer of the positivity you can pass along to people surrounding you. I think you have to take care of yourself, love yourself 100%, to be that person to pass along those values and energies to people surrounding you. So when we talk about the future, sometimes it sounds huge, right? What can we do to change the world or make it better? I feel like you really reinforced the perspective of raising those kind, loving little kids, and then they will spread the love to the entire world.
Exactly. Imagine if I always ask myself this question. Imagine if everyone would focus on that, on just creating that loving micro world within their home community. How beautiful the world would be.
Yeah. So that's why we talk about community all the time. You have to surround yourself with people likely minded that share the similar value. You don't have to agree on everything, right? But as long as you truly believe something, work holistically, that's more powerful and impactful than working alone. And once you as a group spread that energy and positivity to other people, I would imagine more people want to join that group. By doing so, we're just helping shape the world to a better place.
Absolutely.
Love it. So we talk a lot about your motherhood journey, about raising kids. How about being in the wellness world, right? I know you are also a certified coach, helping people going through some difficult transition in their lifetime. Can you share a little bit more about how your work in that area?
Yes, it's been such a beautiful path I'm in, work-wise and coaching-wise. I'm very passionate about helping people to thrive through big life moments and transitions. And I myself went through a lot of life transitions, and I share that lived experience with them to support them and to hold space for them. And it's truly a 360 approach. It's wellness, health, movement, community is a really big one. And making sure that it's this, lifestyle, that it's not a quick fix. It's truly a lifestyle, and having that support system, having your habits that are supportive, having your people, and we work we really work 360, and it's something that I've been really passionate about. And it's
Right.
been a growing passion of mine.
I think your approach is also really grounded. I remember when we had the conversation about, we experience a lot of transitions, right? Moving to a different country, having the new role as a mom, and also starting new business. Those are all big moments in our lives. But you also talk about, having a spa day to take care of your skin, your body, to go on boxing regularly, cook delicious meals for yourself, have a growth trip like somewhere else. I think you are a really kind of like authentic person. Wellness is just not something like you talk about or purely on mental perspective or physical. It's a combination.
Absolutely. I think we are, a very complex, our bodies, our minds, systems. And I think approaching wellness from that perspective and recognizing that, you can eat really well and sleep very well, but if you don't feel supported by your community, or you don't have that community, most likely it's not going to work until things are aligned and in balance. And I'm very committed to finding that balance, even though it's never perfect.
Right.
It's never perfect, but working with that kind of equilibrium, if that makes sense, of things where, I haven't worked out in a couple of weeks, and that's okay. And I'm going back to it. But I made time for my friends and having that compassion for yourself as well.
So it's like a different components. You can get energy, like a recharge from any of them. You just need to rearrange.
That's a great
towards
way
your,
to look at
towards
it.
your schedule, right? What fits back to your schedule for this specific week.
Exactly.
And you don't regret that you didn't, go to the gym this week. It's just like you can always get back to it.
Absolutely. It's always there. And the more joy, having also another part I wanted to share. I've been working on a lot of joy building for my clients and myself as well.
Joy building.
Joy building. So it's like bodybuilding, but joy building.
Wait, walk me through it.
It's definitely something that I think people don't pay much attention to in our fast world. It's literally very simple. You sit down and you can write down. Writing is powerful, so I recommend you write down 10 things that bring you the most joy in life. And then you figure out how you can do at least one per day, which seems very, grand. If traveling brings me joy, but I cannot travel every day. However, if you really sit with yourself, you will recognize that there's so much joy in daily moments, in that, first sip of coffee, and creating that mindful ritual to really feel it and smell it, if that's something that brings you joy, and kind of figuring out how to enjoy life. I think it's very, very important, because that's, I do think we're here to enjoy life as well as, doing amazing work.
I like all the approach you talk about. It's just so simple, but easy to take action. I believe if you continue to do that, right, it's the joy building, but also along the way, you build that kind of like a gratitude. You feel grateful about the life you've already have, right, you're having. And I feel like that's also a great idea when maybe not at 2 years old, but when my son gets older, to practice with him. It's also a great thing to do with a kid.
I think so too. I've started to implement it with Yeva as well, and she recognizes. She, for example, told me the other day how much she loves picking her own clothes, and she tries it on, and she walks in front of the mirror, and she kind of poses, and it's so sweet. And I can see that that's something, she really enjoys. And it's almost like inspirational for me, because, as an adult, I sometimes I don't make enough effort to really think through what I'm wearing and what this particular outfit makes me feel, how it, makes me show up in the world. And that's something I actually been learning from her, where she takes her time. She takes her time to pick an outfit.
Right. I think they bring a lot of the small things. We lost attention to things, we are sometimes overwhelmed in this world with our busy schedule, with everything, but they remind us to really appreciate those small things. And also, no matter how small the decision you are making, you have full control of your body, your mind, and that's precious.
Absolutely.
I love that. I think for some of the parents with younger kids, especially when they are babies or toddlers, life can be out of control or unpredictable sometimes. They might feel lose themselves a little bit physically or mentally, or even in their identity. What are your suggestions to parents that are experiencing this stage? What advice do you have to share with them?
I think starting small. Maybe it will be imperfect at first, but really, let's say making time for that class you've been curious about, reconnecting to little things that you used to enjoy before becoming a parent, and recognizing that it's very normal. There's nothing wrong, and everyone goes through it. It's I find it a powerful identity expansion. Motherhood, parenthood, honoring that, and recognizing that, the more you fill your cup, the more you'll be able to fill your child's cup. So making sure that your cup is filled as well.
I love that. Since, Yeva is older than Eli, I feel like you have been through the different stage of her life. The first few years could be everyone feel sometimes lonely or not supported enough, but it's kind of like a phase that you are going to grow with your kids and open a new world of meeting new people and creating or joining a community that you feel comfortable about. I feel like for me personally, I listen to some podcasts focusing on parenting and motherhood. I feel like sometimes they're really bring you the perspective that you are not alone, you are supported. And also, even everyone is in different stage of their journey, but we are all the same at the end of the day. And as long as you have the belief that you are doing the right thing, being the best parent to your kid, I think we're going to be all okay at the end of the day. And regarding the podcast, I do want to mention there are a few that I really like. I don't know if you listen to some of those podcasts, but there's a conversation with Cam, and We're Not Turning to Be Okay by Jenny Moniz, the Motherly podcast, and there's another podcast, the Magnetic Mama Club by our friend Olesia. I hope Tiny Chair Talks can be part of the resources for parents when they want to get some inspiration or hear from experienced parents on how the journey looks like. They can find it helpful. Yes. I really enjoyed our conversation today, Olesia. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. And I hope you do this more often because this is amazing.
I hope you can enjoy our past episode and future episode as well.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it.